Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Blowout Sports Podcast. I'm Ryan Hayes.
And I'm Dylan Bracha.
We had a crazy week of NFL football and a coaching firing after a 63-21 blowout.
Yeah, that was a massacre. This is the second time we've seen it this year. I can't believe it.
Yeah, well, the Raiders the previous week didn't
had
score a point.
No points.
And then the next week they're scoring 63.
How different 4 days makes. You know, they play Sunday on a 4:30 slate. They can't get anything going. Offensively, defensively, they looked all right. I mean, not much more you can do. I think the Vikings just struggled, but oh my goodness, what a turnaround.
To go from 0 to 63 is insane. And then the Chargers, I mean, Brandon Staley, they've been clamoring for it for the entire year, and now he's gone. The Chargers look terrible. They have a lot of talent on that team.
Yep.
They have invested a lot of money into it, and it has not been panning out. They've only gotten worse since Staley came in.
Yeah, I mean, overall negative record with him. It doesn't get better. I don't know. The defense is just abysmal week to week.
Yeah.
You've got a sack leader in Khalil Mack. He's top 3 right now. Derwin James is a great safety. I mean, the big names are there. Joey Bosa. And you can't scheme together something for this to work? I don't know.
Yeah, the talent's there. It'll be interesting to see who they try to bring in. There's been a lot of rumors. Yep. Bill Belichick, Jim Harbaugh. Just some names that have been floating around.
I always love when a good team fires their coach, and then it's the biggest names are rumored, and they'll end up getting some offensive coordinator from somewhere. You know what I mean? I don't know if Harbaugh's going to come up. You know, he likes the college field. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It is hard to say. I'm squashing it now. Bill's not going anywhere. I hate all those rumors. They're so just silly.
That seems to be the feeling.
I know. And I think every team likes it. They want Bill, and I'm like, okay, you could trade for him if you want him.
Okay.
Why would we just cut him?
Yeah, everybody seems to want Bill.
Yep.
I mean, we'll see what the Chargers end up doing. I think that they're probably. I mean, you have Herbert in line, but there's not going to be a lot of flexibility in terms of bringing in the guys you want there. I mean, if Herbert, you're dead set on him being a quarterback, a lot of guys would want that. A lot of guys want to develop their own guys. So I'm not sure how desirable the Chargers' job even is. So.
I mean, you got to look at it like this, too. All their offensive weapons besides Herbert is up for auction.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to sign them all back, but Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, all going to be on the free agency block. You're not getting all 3 back.
Right. And it seems like the relationships have kind of been deteriorating there for a little bit.
They're
now.
Also not, that young anymore. You know, Keenan Allen's up there. I mean, he's still really good. And same with Eckler, but Eckler's almost 30, I think.
Yeah.
He's up there.
It seems like things are slowing down. There's that clip that's been going around of him against the Packers where he only gets up to 17 miles an hour in the open field. He was getting up to 21 last year. I don't know what's going on, if he had a hamstring or something going on, but that's kind of crazy.
Right.
Big regression. You can see why the Chargers weren't really too big on giving him the extension. They gave him the 1 year.
And the crazy thing for me is with the firing, they weren't with Herbert. I understand, they get absolutely blown out, but hard to say Staley's at fault for that one. I know the general consensus is this was the time now, but it was just crazy. I've never heard of that quarterback who played for them. He was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just a bad recipe.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's how can he even face the locker room at that point where they give up 63 and everybody's going to be looking at him? And it's
he's not Sean Payton.
Yeah, you can't even. Yeah. And even that, it's 5 games in. Everyone's been calling for the job in the first place, and now it's not good, but speaking of not good, the Cowboys get it handed to them against the Bills, 31-10. Everybody was, on polar opposite ends with these teams 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now the Bills are the Super Bowl contender, and the Cowboys seem to suck.
I know. It's weird how the media always gets on these two teams.
Yeah.
I don't the Bills. I see winning out, and they probably sneak in the playoffs. I don't think they'll get enough momentum to carry them to the Super Bowl. I don't see it. Yeah. But I do see them in the play. It's hard to imagine a season like this where they don't get in.
Yeah.
And then the Cowboys, I think it's a reality check. They're not as good as people have said they are. I mean, yes, they beat the Eagles, but that we forget what happened when they faced the Niners. Like, they didn't stand a chance. Now they play the Bills, didn't stand a chance. They get absolutely handed to them on both sides of the ball, and they look really mortal, you know?
Yeah, well, that's been the narrative with the Cowboys kind of all season up until that Eagles game and the Seahawks one too, that they hadn't beaten a team with the winning record, a good team. They get those two, but then, kind of come back to earth with the Bills loss. I mean, we'll see how they respond. They got another test with the Dolphins, so we'll see how that defense does. I mean, my personal opinion is that Tyreek Hill scorches those corners. I mean, I don't know if Deron Bland has the coverage ability. I know he's been a ball hawk this year and getting all the pick sixes, breaking the records, but I don't know if that equates to good coverage. I've seen teams pick on him a lot too.
Yeah. I mean, he might get a pick six off Tua, or at least a pick. I mean, possible. Tua's not, the elite ball placement guy, but if Tyreek's healthy and playing, it's a hard task. And Gilmore can't do it. He's not that fresh legs anymore.
Right. Well, that's what don't say.
Don't tell that to him. He'll lock you up for that. But if only he had that mindset every game, regardless.
Yeah. No. It's just so interesting. The Seahawks game was just so telling when they picked on him, and then he gets the pick. So then the narrative after is, he
got his get back.
Come on. I mean, he was
DK
really
absolutely
went
all over him.
So, I mean, people talking about him being a top corner is pretty crazy to
top
me.
Corner is ridiculous.
But we will see. An interesting week. The Eagles fallen again. I mean, they have lost 3 straight now.
Yeah. Hard to have said we would have seen this coming. Like, great game plan, I'd say, from Seattle. And I do know Jalen was dealing with a sickness for a while. He was really questionable. But just to go back to the game plan of it, Geno was playing and not playing well enough. They put in Drew Lock, and he delivered. Yeah. Who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of talking about it a little bit. Like, Geno, is he really that guy? And I remember kind of thinking, man, we got to give Drew Lock a chance. I mean,
crazy.
Because he was good in Denver, honestly. It wasn't bad. I mean, there were Drew Lock supporters. It kind of reminds me of, like, the Davis Mills fans. But, like, there were people that were, like, in the camp. Like, this guy needs a chance. And he's got the swagger, but he has a good game. He gets the game winning. It's a clutch game.
What a drive. Oh, my, dude. That last drive, too, what a perfect ball to the rookie.
That's a big deal. You're playing the Super Bowl defense.
Yeah.
And you're getting, like, I don't know. It gave them a spark. I don't know if the Seahawks are better. We'll see. It's a weird situation. I don't know how they'll move forward. They'll go with Locke. I mean,
after that, he's earned it.
Yeah, but we'll see how this goes. I mean, just because Locke has this game, who knows what happens next game.
I mean, we've seen. Look at Josh Dobbs. He started so good, and then he's already benched.
It's almost been the trend, and then everybody was waiting for that Flacco come back to earth game, like with all the new starters, and they've been performing, but we've seen some falter. So, they have the Titans, they have the Steelers, and they have the Cardinals. So, some struggling teams on the schedule.
Yeah, they might be able to finish off and get back in the playoff picture.
Everyone gave up on them, and, they're maybe not a Super Bowl contending team, but they'll put up a fight against the Niners at least. They won't win, but it would be cool to see the Seahawks and the Niners play again because, those teams.
They are fun matchups. And, I mean, I didn't want to say I gave up on them. Yeah. I know people did,
definitely.
But people just forgot how bad that schedule was for this past month.
Yeah.
They played the Niners twice, the Cowboys, and the Eagles in 4 straight games. That's brutal. That is brutal.
Kind of a playoff appetizer, though, how they might do there. But, I mean, the team's tough. They have good players. And how about Jamal Adams being a healthy scratch and not going to the game?
Crazy.
What's going on with? I mean, how much are they paying him?
He gets money.
That's wild to have a $15 million safety. I don't know. That's just a guess. A healthy
scratch is. I mean,
without Witherspoon too, so you're already depleted in the secondary a little bit, and then I mean that's a wild thing, but that
still played, dude. They still played well,
and Pete Carroll is making decisions that would blow people's minds. Like, how are you doing this? But then, hey, you're beating the Eagles.
I mean, Pete Carroll's a good coach. Definitely. Anybody who says otherwise, I don't know what they're on.
They don't know ball.
They don't know ball. And this is another notch to prove it. I mean, he just knows how to keep a team in it. Last year was the best example of that. People had them as the worst team in the league.
Right.
And they make the playoffs.
I was one of them. I thought the Seahawks were going to be the worst team in the NFL, but they were not.
Yeah.
And and they haven't been. And but one team that has a fan base that is not happy is the Green Bay Packers. Some of them confident about their quarterback, but, man, Baker just torched their defense.
How about Baker Mayfield, the first ever visiting quarterback to have a perfect passer rating in Lambeau Field?
22 of 28, 381, 4 touchdowns, gets everybody involved. Godwin was on social media, not happy, but he's getting 10 for 155 all of a sudden. It was his wife, actually.
Speaking out for him.
Right. Rashad White, big game. Mike Evans got a touchdown. It was a good game all around.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want if they're going to win their division, and they're coming off of just taking over the division. That's what you got to do. You got to win some games. You got to at least show that you're gonna show up in the playoffs.
And the Packers fans are just livid with their defense. They want that coordinator.
Oh my God, that defense! I don't know what's going on there. They had a better look last year with the defense. This year, I don't know what changed.
Lost some talent, I guess. Darius Smith's out the door. No more Adrian Amos.
But it is crazy because their defense has not looked good this year.
Yeah, it seems their new additions, they were getting a lot of players in the draft. I can't remember his name, the Georgia linebacker. They just playing below expectations. I don't know. The Packers, Jordan Love seems to be a good quarterback.
I was going to say, Jordan Love's definitely going to stick around.
Yeah.
Keep him. I mean, they've already extended him before the season started. I think it was another year.
Yeah, I remember
he got one. So, I mean, he's earned it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they gave it to him before he's even played. So, I mean, it was a good idea.
Smart business move.
It is. And, I mean, I would like to see what he can do in another year with the system. He's still figuring everything out 1 year in,
Definitely. Speaking of a bad business move now, Jalen Johnson is making the Bears pay for not paying him when they probably could have gotten him for about 17. He's probably going to be up for about 24 with the way he's been playing.
Yeah, I mean, people are really high on him now, too.
No, I mean, he's been probably the best corner in the league this year. I know I'm a little homer there, but he kind of has been.
Yeah,
he's only given up 185 yards all season. Teams are not throwing his way.
No.
Tyreek Stevenson is the most targeted corner on the other side in the NFL. And he's been, evolving to that, but that's probably the hardest job.
Yeah.
I think he's like that guy, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he does look like that guy. And, I mean, they put up a fight against the Browns, and they couldn't finish it off, man. That Hail Mary was this close.
I thought they were going to get it, and that's got it. I was saying it's probably one of the top 5 hardest Bears games. It's just because they had it. They blew it.
They blew it and then almost had it again.
Yeah.
It was in their fingertips.
It was such a Bears game. I'm used to those outcomes, but man, it was all coaching. They had an opportunity. They had 2 opportunities. They had an opportunity to take a 56-yard field goal at the end of the half through a Hail Mary. And then they had a 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, up 17-7, and they went for it. I don't know why. That's cocky and stupid. You just got to take the points in that situation, and it shifted the momentum greatly, and that's just how these things go.
And the Browns have a top defense. Why do you think going for it?
Take your points. Get to 20.
Yeah.
And now you're in good shape. And the other team just like, man, we got scored on. But no, now it's, man, we're getting the ball at midfield. And they scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was a big coaching mistake. Eberflus has to go. In defense of Ryan Poles' hiring, this is the only thing I'll say in defense of it. He couldn't have known Matt Eberflus would be that inept when it came to game day decisions, which has been terrible all around. Challenges, 4th down decisions, all of it. Not good because he's not equipped to do it. He's a defensive coordinator in the league.
Yeah.
They need to fire him.
It's funny because you were saying maybe we should keep him around.
The only reason I was saying we keep him around is because the progression we've seen on the defense. But I was thinking about it a little bit more, and I was like, why has the defense gotten better? Eberflus hasn't changed his team. Well, he has been blitzing less. It's the talent.
The talent's
Montez
been
Sweat
better.
Came in.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson's been playing at an elite level. Brisker, Kyler Gordon are figuring it out. The 2 defensive tackles on the interior are good. Brand new linebacking core. It's not Eberflus.
Yeah, I think the talent's better, and we've had the discussion of the goal line throwing the same play every 3 plays they did there. It's not a winning combination.
No, I mean, Yeah, if the coach goes, then Getsy would have to go. You'd imagine the new coaching staff would want their own guys. I mean, and then I want to talk about the decision that Ryan Poles is going to have to make right now.
Yeah.
Especially if the hopefully, fingers crossed, the Panthers keep losing. But if the Bears have an opportunity at Caleb Williams, they're going to have to do their due diligence. They would not be doing their jobs if they didn't. Because Caleb Williams really has excellent tape. But Justin Fields, maybe with the new receiver, there's that argument he comes in. I think they need more line help. I think they're not there yet. They have a tough decision to make.
They do. I mean, it's looking more and more like they're gonna get that first pick. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for them to lose it, I think.
I hope so.
But I mean, like, you never know. I think, in their opinion, they should probably keep Fields around and trade the pick.
Yeah.
You get more assets.
Big assets.
You can get your O-lineman at like 8 or whatever, whatever you trade down to. And I think that benefits them the most. Fields has got to be the guy. I haven't seen enough wrong with Fields to be like, he's not the guy.
It's just, he didn't respond to the pressure as much as exactly how I would have liked him to against the Browns. He did some good things. There weren't those terribly frustrating turnovers, which was good.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 picks, 2 Hail Marys. I'm not holding that against him.
Exactly.
It would be crazy to. He held his own against the Browns. He looked a hell of a lot
Browns
better
defense
than he did.
is top 3 in the league right now.
And they make quarterbacks look terrible.
Yes.
So it's good. I know I've been saying this, but it's gonna depend. Like, how does he play here down the stretch? Does he beat the Packers week 17?
That's gonna be a big one.
These are
a big
questions. So, and that's the reporting you're coming out and hearing that they're not sure about what they're gonna do with Fields, and they said that with Eberflus too. Mm-hmm. I think Poles is. I don't know how you can be.
Yeah, I think by the end he's gone.
Get the veteran coach. I mean, Harbaugh would be my number one.
How could he? Yeah, how could he not?
Right.
Again, that's if he's coming up though.
Right.
He could say, "Hey, I'm getting paid handsomely here, and coaching good ball."
And I laugh at the reports, and maybe I'll regret saying this and look like an idiot, but I laugh at the reports that say Harbaugh to the Chargers, because I'm like, you think he's choosing the Chargers over the Bears if that's an option? He played there in the 80s. He's got the ties. I just think he would go to the Bears personally.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. And I mean, I think the Bears have a brighter looking future. Definitely. Like they both have young quarterbacks that I think are good. And I mean, probably taking Herbert over Fields at the moment, but that's not to say Fields can't get to a level. Yeah.
In my opinion, they're a team that's just ready to boom, and they just need the right guy.
But you're looking at a young, healthy, strong defense compared to a bad defense. Sure. I mean, they're getting older. And I mean, I don't know how you fix that one.
Right.
And then you look on the offensive side of the ball, you have DJ Moore. I'm a huge DJ Moore guy. Komet's locked down. I don't know what you're looking at for the Chargers after the offseason.
Older weapons regardless.
If they bring them back. How do you change what they're doing enough so that they're winning it? Like, I would think the Bears are in a better look at their division alone. Like, you're playing against the Chiefs twice a year if you're going there.
Right, and then look at what the Bears have even done within the division. You're beating the Vikings
and the Lions.
And the Lions in a year where it's been a down year. Yeah. They've been struggling, but they're still.
Yeah,
I think there's a.
I do. I thought the Bears were going to be a little bit better this year than they have been.
Yeah.
But they have turned it around from their really slow start.
Right.
So I mean, give or take a couple of those changes, like that Broncos game, they really should have won.
Broncos, Lions, and that last week against the Browns. All these.
Yeah, those are 3 games you turn around, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, the Bears are a playoff team.
Right, and that's been the knock on Fields not being able to get the. Those, I don't know. We'll see that. But I got to say, Tyler Scott made a huge play. This receiver made that, stayed in bounds. The Browns kind of tried to arm tackle him. He's a big-time weapon. I think they need to get him the ball more. And that's one thing I'm hoping I see in the last 3 games. Because I think he could be good. They need a new receiver, though. Mooney's out.
Oh.
All right.
Let's get on.
Steelers starting Mason Rudolph next week.
Man, they're going to finish negative. I feel very confident in that. Their next 3 games aren't necessarily the easiest. And I'm all for it. I'm ready for everybody to say Tomlin isn't the greatest anymore. Like, he's a good coach. I'm not going to knock him for that. But the 8-8 seasons aren't good. You know, I'd rather be lower than 500.
Right.
And 8-8.
And the thing is, like, the losses are the losses, but it's almost a culture thing.
Mm-hmm.
The George Pickens quote.
Yeah.
I don't want to get injured. I don't want
that
to end
was
up like Tank Dell.
insane.
Wow.
That is a terrible thing to say.
Yeah.
You are not in the same situation as Tank Dell, first of all. I don't think Tank Dell should have been in that play to begin with, but what George Pickens was doing was not the same as Tank Dell.
Right, yeah.
And George Pickens is a much bigger human being.
Yeah, no, I'm looking up his height, weight right now. He's a big guy.
He's a
6'3", 200 pounds.
Like, come on,
one of the best, and he showcased good blocking.
Yeah.
He's checked out of the Steelers completely.
Dude, it's a common thing that goes on. I don't think Deontay Johnson's going to be around for them much longer after the whole incident a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they get these star wide receivers, and then something changes there. Like, we've seen this in the past.
I got a theory today. Maybe, and this is out there, Pittsburgh media, they seem to really get this out of their players. And the Steelers had to know. You just had AB. George Pickens was very talented, but obviously very temperamental too. And that at the receiver position is almost a recipe for disaster because they are dependent on, especially a good quarterback to get them the ball. Steelers.
I mean, remember when Odell had his issues at the Giants?
Like, I mean, it's not makes sense, but it's a logical thing.
Yeah, you have to think about
all
that.
the time.
Yeah,
there's the receiver diva thing. It's a thing for
a
reason.
Thing. Well, I mean, they think they're the best, and they think they should get the ball
all the time.
And when they're losing and not getting the ball enough, it's easy to be like, it ain't my fault because I'm not getting the ball.
Right. For a receiver not to act that way shows a lot of maturity.
Yes.
Those are the ones you almost look for. That's the GM.
Yeah.
And I've heard
it's the captain of your team.
Mike Lombardi. It was an interesting thing he said. When you're a team, you don't want to get the receiver till the end because then if you don't have everything else in place to get him the ball, it's going to cause problems for everything else. And I think that's a really smart thing. I think that makes a lot of sense, and that's why he was a GM. Yeah, it's an interesting situation for the Steelers. They seem to be in shambles.
They're in shambles, and I mean, starting Mason Rudolph, I don't think helps them. No. I mean, not that Mitch was doing good, but like Mason Rudolph, I don't think is anything.
I think probably not, but I think he deserves the opportunity.
Yeah, sure.
I'll say he's been buried on that Steelers depth chart for years, and he's been loyal, staying there. So I don't know.
I don't think anybody else wants him, to be fair.
Maybe not, but we'll see him we'll get to see him play. Seems like the Denver Broncos, that fairy tale is over.
Yeah, they're done. I said this once they faced the Texans. I said one loss and they're kind of gonna fiddle out.
Called it.
They got a win against the Chargers in the meantime, but I mean, is that much to say? No. Justin Herbert goes down. They did not play well. Turnovers and everything galore. Lions defense looked good. I believe C.J. Gardner-Johnson was back.
I think so.
Good to see him back. I love him. He's a good player.
Not a big fan.
That's fair. I know. But I do like his game. He's a good safety. Good to see him there.
He's definitely a good player. Yeah. He's good at what he does.
I know. I understand the not so fond feelings.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's good to see the Lions. Not good, but they're kind of in it now that we don't play them, and now that it's kind of over. It's kind of cool.
Well, I think for a fan standpoint, I want to see what this team can do in the playoffs.
Definitely.
Like, I would like to see them go out in round one and showcase a great offense and match with defense. Because if they go out and they knock out one of those lower teams, and then they're facing like a Niners or Eagles or I want to see a good match. Yeah, I don't want to see them get blown out, and that's a waste of a game.
Yeah, I want to see how they can stack up there, honestly. Like, give them their shot. I mean, Jared Goff looking great. I mean, we'll see. I'm
not gonna say this is possible, but imagine how crazy it would be if Detroit has like a Bengals run from a couple years ago.
That'd be wild.
Like we don't see that much from this team. Like, we know they're a good team, but we don't see that. That would be insane if they were on a magical run.
It would really surprise me. I cannot foresee that happening.
No, right?
At all.
But
it could
I
didn't
be crazy.
See that with the Bengals either. I mean, I was kind of a little Joe Burrow hater at the time, though.
Really?
But I've kind of
Joe Cool.
I'm over that now.
Yeah.
I was kind of rooting for them this year, and I was sad when he got injured.
Yeah, me
I
too.
Went full circle on the guy. I mean, obviously I'd be sad anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bengals get a huge win over the Vikings. Massive. Overtime on that Saturday.
That
3-game
T. Higgins touchdown was insane.
Electric. I mean, spoiling the Nick Mullins. He had a decent game, 300 yards. Ty Chandler, kind of the emergence of him, we got to see a little bit.
Jordan Addison had a hell of a game.
Yeah, made my fantasy interesting. But Jake Browning, man, keeps on doing it.
I don't know how much more we got to see before we're like crowning this kid the next second coming.
Right.
This guy has to play next year at like somewhere. I mean, I don't know. I think if a team's looking at this, and I said the same thing for Minshew, and I mean it. I'm like, if you're gonna have a rookie and you want to have a quarterback battle, I mean, this is a guy you could bring in who's showing what he can do. I mean, Jamar Chase isn't even playing, and he's putting up these numbers.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just on this 1-year deal, if I'm correct here. So he's going to, man, this is going to be interesting.
I mean, he's been balling. Like, it's been like he's been balling.
So what kind of contract can you see him getting?
I still see cheap, but not like a minimum.
My comp right now for him is I'm looking at the Mike White contract.
Okay.
With the Dolphins, did you?
Yeah, he went to the
Dolphins.
Yeah, he went and he's a backup. So I'm thinking like
2 years, 16 was Mike White.
Damn. Okay. So maybe he gets something like that, and I would say he's looked better than Mike White has.
Definitely, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm wondering, is it 10, 12?
I think it
14?
Depends on where he goes, and I mean we also we're getting a sample size of what he can do on a better team than what Mike White was on.
True.
So I mean that all is going to get taken into account, but I'm thinking of it. I don't know what team would, but I mean like maybe even the Bengals are like, we're going to pay you to at least stay here.
Wouldn't be the worst idea. I mean, Joe Burrow has struggled with injuries. There's no denying.
You are seeing a team that people wrote off.
Mm-hmm.
There was no shot anybody picked them to still make it, and they are in the hunt.
Why not the Bengals? Because I don't necessarily see a team confidently saying Jake Browning's our starter.
But this sounds a little familiar. It's a bad comparison to make because it's not the same in any way other than the circumstance. Joe Burrow's their guy. This no-name guy steps up. Sounds like Tom Brady.
Oh, man. Are you saying that?
I'm not saying he
Joe Burrow
is, but maybe he's Drew Bledsoe.
Joe Bledsoe? Wow.
I'm not going that far, but like
idea.
If that's the situation, conversations are going to be made there too.
Well, if let's say Jake Browning goes and wins the Super Bowl, then I think maybe we can start to be like, all right. Because, I mean, you got to look at where the Bengals were. We said they're done. Yeah. I said they're done.
I did too.
Agreed, but
I did too.
The Bengals have beaten some good teams here going down the stretch. They need to play the Steelers, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's the last week.
They got the Steelers, Chiefs, and it's actually Browns in week 17. So
that's a hard schedule.
Yeah, I'm really definitely excited for that Bengals-Chiefs game.
Let's see what this guy can do. Like, this is what I'm talking about. If this guy goes out and puts up numbers still.
Yeah, even if they have a competitive game against the Chiefs, I mean, right now they are sitting at 8-6. They are in line for that last. Ooh, it is competitive.
It is really close.
I gotta look up the playoff standings because I don't know all the tiebreakers off.
I don't know off the top of my head. I know the Texans are at 8-6.
Yeah.
I know the Bills are at 8-6. They do have the tiebreaker over the Bills. I believe the Colts are at 8-6.
Yeah, so right now in the AFC, if it was to end right now, it would be Ravens 1 seed, Dolphins, Chiefs, Jags, Browns, Bengals, Colts.
Wow.
Texans out, Bills out.
Isn't that crazy how tiebreakers work?
Yeah, honestly. So the Bills need to keep winning here, and they're going to need some help, honestly. And man, the Bengals, maybe you can count on one loss there. I mean, it's hard to project.
It's really
it's
hard.
The NFL too. Anyone can win on any given game, so you can't necessarily write off any of these teams or say they're in.
Right.
In the NFC, little easier entry. You got the Vikings and the Rams. It's kind of okay. We got the Niners, Cowboys, Eagles are clinched. Right now, the Eagles would be a wild card. The Lions is the 3 seed. The Bucks is the 4 seed.
Yep.
And then Vikings, Rams. And then the Seahawks are there. Do they play each other?
I think they've played twice.
Yeah, I think you might be right on
Seattle's gonna have a road. I mean, they're gonna need some teams to lose.
Yeah, they are because they lost to the Rams twice.
Oh,
so
they're gonna need at least them to lose and have a better record, and they also need the Vikings. They could take them.
Rams have been a sneaky good team too. So
yeah,
it's kind
of weird how they've kept in it, but
yeah.
Well, like you said, the 4 teams this week to clinch: Ravens, Lions, Cowboys, Eagles. They all clinched this week off different circumstances.
Right.
So, I mean, they don't have to worry about other than where they're going to place.
Right, exactly. They just want to try to get home
high as they can, yeah.
Well,
I mean, the Cowboys, Eagles are going to be fighting for a playoff game at home.
Right. Do they have another? No, they're done.
They're done, yeah. So now they just have to have a better record or something. I
know the Cowboys have the tiebreaker right now.
I don't know how that works, though.
Yeah. I know that the first 3 it's head to head, and then it's division record, and then it goes into common opponents.
Oh, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe the Eagles haven't played enough.
Yeah,
because they have the Giants twice still.
Right. So I don't know too much into it. If I was a super fan of one of these teams, I would definitely have it all figured out. But
yeah, I guess one last note since we're talking about who's in. Jets and Titans officially eliminated. Aaron Rodgers rumors are put to bed. He's now magically weeks away from being able to start.
Is that what they're saying?
That's what he said.
Oh, he said he won't play again.
He said
that came out in 2 hours. Jets officially
shut it down. Oh.
Wow.
Well, it was real fitting that they lose the game and are mathematically eliminated, and all of a sudden he was shut down too.
It says
it's real fitting.
Yeah, no, now there's going to be all the narratives that's saying he was never going to play.
Exactly.
I don't know.
He wasn't.
Probably
They
not.
would have been so stupid to put him out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It was a fun narrative. Maybe keep the guys up, thinking, oh, maybe Rodgers is gonna come back.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they're set on him being back and better than ever for next year.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We will see.
But you don't know. He thinks he's gonna play years there, according to what he said on Pat McAfee show.
Well, maybe he's gonna be like Tom Brady. Who knows?
Well, he's already not, so that's pretty tough.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's already lost his first season.
Yeah. Honestly, not a great start to the Aaron Rodgers Jets experiment.
Yeah, I mean, we've already done it, but that O-line, that's where they went wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a lot of people were saying that, and they were proved right.
Yeah.
By the end of the year.
So you want to do some picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
I hate to say this, but I blew you out this week, 12-7.
Terrible.
I got my get back.
I was picking way too many blowouts.
I couldn't believe some of the games you picked.
I was the Blowout Sports podcast. I figured I'd just, throw some in there.
You threw some wild ones out there.
I guess a little too many.
Yeah.
I guess a little too many.
Yep. So let's start off with this week. Who's playing Thursday?
Saints Rams in LA.
This is actually, so like we said, this could have huge playoff implications.
Definitely. The Rams are in that last playoff spot. Saints are trying to fight for their lives to stay alive.
I mean, if the Saints win, like this is what I'm talking about. Saints win, and then they're like they can't win the division or whatever. Like they could have a tiebreaker in now.
Right. Yeah. I don't even know how it's gonna affect the math. Both teams gonna be playing hard.
Yeah.
Saints fans are acting like they are 3-11, but they're just spoiled.
Yep.
They hate Derek Carr.
I don't blame him though. He's been bad.
Definitely, no doubt about that. But they're staying the course. Keep on going. I don't think it's gonna be working for them. I think the Rams have been good. I think Sean McVay has he's been in his bag. Honestly, he's got the boys going. Puka Nacua looking like a great blocker.
They look good, man.
I mean, they look good. They got it going, and I'm picking the Rams.
I'm also picking the Rams. I'm just like I said, I'm not high on the Saints. I think this game has the potential to be pretty good. Little rematch from the no PI call that changed the world.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. These are two different teams from back then, but I just don't think the Derek Carr experiment's gonna work. I can't see him sticking around. Yeah. If I'm the Saints, I don't want him next year.
Definitely not. The fans hate him. They hate him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he had a strong game. 82% completion percentage. 218.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just they were playing the Giants, and the Giants aren't good, and people was trying to make them good, just like the Jets. It didn't work.
Giants have not been good since Odell Beckham was on the team.
Yep.
And Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Bengals Steelers in Pittsburgh. Man,
I like this matchup for Jake Browning.
Yeah. Well,
the defense isn't fun, but when you see the last 3 weeks with what has happened to that defense, it doesn't matter. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I like their odds. I'm going with the Bengals.
Well, they're just fed up. That defense is sick and tired of the way it's been going. I don't know how Tomlin's going to get the boys up, but I wouldn't pick on it.
People are calling for his head. They want him off the team.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right
I don't think so.
I think Tomlin's proven he's a pretty good coach in this league. I don't know. They got to stop bringing in really receivers that are prone to being disgruntled. I mean, that would be a start. I mean, they got to build it from the ground up. I mean, I know this is probably foreign language to him, but what about a little rebuild? You know, I mean, Pickett doesn't seem to be the answer. Everybody's saying, build around Pickett. I mean, they've tried, I think. I mean, they do have talented skill position players. They're just all mad because Pickett sucks.
I haven't seen too much of him without Matt Canada. I know that was the common excuse, but
that's true. I just think
he also just hasn't looked like he can be much more.
Right, and it seems like that's how Pickens feels, just based on his actions. I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Again, what would hurt the Steelers to at least draft or bring someone in to make this a quarterback competition? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
quarterback room's getting filled up there.
I mean, Mason Rudolph doesn't really do anything for me. Mitch doesn't do anything for me. Get somebody who can do something for that team.
That would probably be helpful. Maybe there'll be a Ryan Tannehill contender.
There's no way Ryan Tannehill plays next year. I can't.
Yeah, no, I agree, but some team's gonna do it.
Yeah, probably. Who are you taking with this one?
I want the Bengals.
Yeah.
Bills Chargers. Chargers need to somehow come back after that decimating defeat. Coachless.
Can they rally behind a interim coach?
Yeah, I don't even know who it is, but no.
I don't think they've named it.
Not.
And Bills roll. Yeah, I agree.
Have they named their interim? Oh, it's Gif Smith. Maybe Jif. It's GIF. All right, he's sparking the debate.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna say GIF.
All right. Hey, he'll sue us if we're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Bills.
Yeah, Bills.
Commanders, Jets. Interesting. These teams are kind of both some of the biggest dumpster fires in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Commanders can't seem to get anything right. The Jets, Zach Wilson probably.
Yeah.
I like the Jets there.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Jets too. Breece Hall probably runs all over them.
Oh yeah. Commanders are really bad.
Yeah.
Everybody goes off against the Commanders.
So let's say Jets win. Media's like, oh,
maybe. I mean, I'm giving Zach Wilson 3 passing touchdowns this game.
No,
that's my little teaser.
Breece Hall might go for 3 touchdowns himself. I don't know about him throwing.
Zach Wilson's like, I want it. I'm checking this. I'm checking this run. I'm passing.
I'm checking. Oh my God.
Lions Vikings.
This could be a good one.
Yeah. Interesting. Vikings with Nick Mullins trying to stay alive here. I think they're going to give the Lions some trouble, honestly.
Really?
They're going to bother Jared Goff, absolutely.
I mean, they have the defense that could step up.
Right. I honestly, I would say low-scoring game, but I think the Vikings are going to have the ability to score here.
Okay.
I think they probably put up like 24 points plus, and then the Lions, Jared Goff is going to have a hard time. They better hope they can get the running game going. Montgomery's a big, strong running back.
Yeah. Gibbs has been proven problems.
If they can wear down the Vikings front with some strong Montgomery runs and they can get that going, there's a chance that the Lions are able to run it well, but they're not going to get a good passing game going against the Vikings. So I'm leaning towards the Vikings in this game just because
I'm a differ. Definitely. I'm going with the Lions. I cannot believe when I looked back that I took a team against the Lions. But they were playing so iffy, so whatever. Lions are back, in my opinion.
They've been struggling.
Make them look good.
What happened in this matchup earlier in the year?
I was thinking the same thing. I believe the Lions won.
They haven't played yet.
No?
They play again in Week 17.
Oh, my goodness.
This is a test for the Lions.
Wait, they play next week, too?
No, the Lions have... the Vikings play the Lions, Packers, and the Lions.
Oh, okay. So they play week 18.
Big opportunity for the Vikings to prove who they are.
Yeah.
I'd take the Vikings there because I think they'll give the Lions trouble.
I'm liking the Lions. Where is this one at?
This one's in Minnesota.
Okay. We'll see.
So we will see.
That's a good game.
Browns, Texans, Flacco magic. Can it continue against Stroud?
Is Stroud back? Will he be back?
Oh, right. He's in concussion protocol.
Yeah, I would have to imagine he was going to be back. He was questionable the whole time until they were like, Case Keenum's playing.
Let me get this update.
Let's see.
CJ Stroud or Case Keenum, who's a bigger threat?
Stop. No way that's
I just read that. That's what I read.
Oh.
He's still in concussion protocol, likely out.
Likely out?
That's what the Athletic said.
How?
CJ Stroud reportedly expected to remain sidelined.
Wow.
So
all right. Well, that makes my damn.
Yeah.
See, this is what sucks, man.
Yeah,
I was rooting for the Texans to, have this good run this year, and they're getting plagued by injuries.
Yeah. I like the Flacco magic to continue, honestly.
I don't know about what Case Keenum can do against that defense.
No.
He didn't look necessarily great. He got the win for them, but they didn't look great.
The Browns are turning into a little bit of a buzzsaw, to be honest with you, because they have that stifling defense.
That defense is all it is, man.
And now
They're
they
so
have a
filthy.
quarterback that can run the offense. You know? Man, what if they had weapons? Like, what if they, had gotten another receiver? This team could have been something. Because in my head, I always knew the identity of this Browns offense was a shotgun passing team. And they were trying to run it with Nick Chubb when all along this is what they should have been doing.
Yeah, you did call for that, and you were saying bringing in a receiver. I'm glad they've at least incorporated Njoku more.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a
man,
great
they could have
tight
had Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yes.
They shipped him out. I'm sure Flacco would have liked to have him.
I would imagine so too.
Now he has 2 catches in Detroit. So. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the Browns.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with them too. I don't like the Case Keenum matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, the Browns are going to roll, man. This team's getting really high up there in the win-loss.
They're winning games they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Packers, Panthers. Oh, I need you, Packers, more than ever. Please.
This could be really bad and really good at the same time.
And I could see the Panthers totally beating the Packers.
That would be so awesome.
I would.
But at the same time, my fear is if we get the 1 seed, I think we go for a quarterback, and I don't want that.
Well, they would. Caleb Williams to me is can't miss if you need a quarterback.
I don't think so. I think he's
talent wise.
I think he. My gut is telling me he's the next big bust.
It's possible, but
I just don't think he can live up to those expectations people are giving him.
No,
he's already shown he's not as good as last year.
That makes sense. It's really an arm talent thing.
Yeah.
It's just what he can do even off his back foot. He's just got an elite arm, and it's just like a coach's dream. Like
here's what I'm looking at right now. I compare this even to last year. Bryce Young was the one, right? Everybody said he was the one.
Yeah.
I like CJ Stroud the best.
Right.
But I even would have said I'd rather have Anthony Richardson than Bryce Young.
Okay.
Now, he got hurt.
Yeah.
That sucks. But what he was doing when he was playing was a lot better than what CJ Stroud's done all year.
Yeah, Bryce Young. I mean,
Bryce Young.
But Bryce Young, man, it hasn't been working. He might just be a good college quarterback. It's hard to judge Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I'm honestly not gonna do it.
I don't want to say he's a bust yet, but he hasn't been good this year. I can say that.
It's been impossible to probably do anything on the Panthers.
Yeah.
Just their Frank Reich shenanigans and just everything that was going on this year. Just play calls him this week, it's him next week. I mean, it's been a mess for Bryce Young. Yeah, Stroud was always the biggest NFL ready quarterback.
I thought he looked the best.
That was always the case. I didn't foresee him obviously doing this. I don't think anybody really
Not
did.
like this, no. But I mean, he's been great.
But I guess my ultimate point that I'm getting to is I think that Caleb Williams is just far, and in terms of just a prospect, raw coming out, has a lot more talent, just baseline than all these guys by a lot.
Like this, so I mean, if we're gonna compare it to last year, I mean, Drake May could be the CJ Stroud.
Yes.
And Caleb
definitely.
Williams could be Bryce Young.
And
then
Caleb
Jaden
Williams going number 1. Absolutely, in my opinion.
But is that a mistake? If there's more ready guys, and could they be more consistent?
I think Caleb Williams is probably ready. I mean, if you need a quarterback, you take Caleb Williams, in my opinion, because he's the talent is just like you can't ignore it. For me,
I gotta watch more tape on these guys. I don't know.
Drake May's probably gonna be pretty good too.
I think I'm bigger on 4 more quarterbacks than him.
Than Caleb Williams?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
like I understand he won the Heisman last year and looked great, but then it looked like he got figured out.
Yeah, I mean I think the Caleb Williams tape, I mean just as a raw talent, to me is unmistakable, and I do think he's gonna go number 1.
Is that the
picking.
Bears?
Could be the Bears, and then but if you're trading for the number 1 pick, the price is going to be maybe the highest ever.
Yeah.
And you're picking Williams if you're.
No, I do imagine that's the case, which is why I think it makes the Bears having it so interesting.
That's why I'm so desperate to get this pick. Like it's franchise changing.
So I mean, if that's the case, I wouldn't mind the Pats getting it to trade down to like 2 or 3.
You want this number 1 pick, in my opinion.
I just don't want Williams. I think like I could be wrong, but like I just feel like there's better quarterbacks than him.
It's a lot of risk.
And that's what sucks about the draft in terms of like not being able to see the future. There are guys that are going to come in that look like they're so good and not be that good.
Right. I love Justin Fields, but I'm already mentally preparing myself for the possibility.
I mean, it is
Bears
possible.
Fall in love with Caleb Williams, because as a team, just like actually having the chance to take him is like gotta be really tempting, and I cringe at the value you're missing.
Man, can you imagine how crazy that would be?
Yeah.
Because now I'm thinking, is Fields free agent?
No, so the Bears have an option to either
extend him for 5th year.
They'll probably give him a 5th-year option.
So here's what I wonder: if they do draft him, would they trade him, keep him around, and make him backup? I don't think Fields should be backing up. That's my thing.
I would start Fields over Williams if possible, but Williams, I don't know enough about him to say this, but it doesn't seem like he has the mentality to be a backup at all.
Right. He wants to own whatever team. He wants some ownership.
I don't know Caleb Williams personally, but I do know he got money at a young age.
Yep.
And I know that can have an effect on people sometimes. So, and that could be the case with a lot of these NIL deal people. We'll see, honestly. Hopefully Caleb Williams isn't too Hollywood. I've seen people kind of say that.
His quotes have been really questionable to me.
But I don't want to judge a book by its cover, honestly.
I mean, is that by its cover, or is that using what you've heard?
That's just how he acts. Maybe he's a really nice, down-to-earth guy, and maybe he's your franchise guy. Juxtaposing him to Justin Fields, though, Justin Fields is literally the ideal personality for a quarterback. So you're not having problems in any chance. You're not having the potential for problems. I think Caleb Williams will be a consummate professional. That's my opinion.
We got to get back to these picks. We really do. I think the Panthers looked abysmal last week, and the Falcons looked worse. So for that reason, I'm taking the Packers.
All right, I'm taking the Packers.
Okay. All right. Let's get away from the draft.
Seahawks Titans.
Yeah, we will talk more about the draft in the future,
so
but
excited.
yeah,
I'm just so excited.
As 2 teams that are only focused on that, I know.
Seahawks Titans. The Titans at home. I'm liking the Seahawks.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks. Titans. Yeah. Now they're not even playing for anything. They're out.
Yeah, it's just Will Levis kind of running around.
Yeah.
Colts Falcons. The Falcons. Oof.
This is the same thing. I think the Falcons are cooked. You know, they've had their fun run. I don't know what they can do. The Colts look better.
Yeah, the Colts all day. Jags, Bucks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This one should be good.
I feel like the Bucks have a lot more momentum right now.
They're riding it.
But just the way things have been going, it feels like they dropped the game because they need it.
The Jags need the game.
Definitely.
Because they're on the verge of losing the division.
Right. And
because we just all right, so if we pick the Bucks and the Colts win, they're first in the division. They're all 3 tied at 8 and 6.
The Jags need it, but the Jags have been struggling. I mean,
they're on the road too.
Yeah, I mean the 23-7. I mean you're playing the top team in the league. Play the Browns close, but you lose ultimately.
I mean they're coming. That game was right after, what's his name? He was coming off. Trevor Lawrence was coming off looking hurt. So I mean that's tough in itself.
Right. They need it. They need it bad.
This one's tough because we're coming off Baker looking so good, and it's like, can he do it again? And we're coming off the Jags looking not so good, and you're thinking, can they turn it around?
So Joe Flacco puts up 31 on the Jags defense.
The Jags defense has not looked good.
Yeah,
it looked better last week, but the offense was not there.
Taking the Bucks. I'm taking the Bucks. I think Baker is able to figure out that defense, and the Jags offense has been struggling. But I think it'll be kind of one of those 31-28 games.
I'm trying to eliminate bias because I really like the Bucks, and like my gut says the Jags should win this game, so I'm going with the Jags.
I don't even have too much of emotional attachment.
I just really like Baker.
Yeah,
I do, and I Mike Evans is great. Chris Godwin's great. I watched them a lot when Tom was playing. Right. So, I mean, it made a lot of sense for me to kind of follow along with
that makes sense. Cowboys, Dolphins. That's maybe the best game of the week. Probably.
So, here we go. Where is this game at? Where is this game at?
Yeah, it's
in Miami. So, apparently the Cowboys suck on the road, but are undefeated and can't be beat at home. I'm not trying to rock with that too much, but this could cost them the division and home field.
Well, here's the deal. If you want that home field, you need to win this game.
They need to win this game.
You need to go on the road to secure that home field.
They have to match or do better than the Eagles for it. And the Eagles have the Giants twice, and I think, is it the Rams?
I'm not
sure. Is that middle game?
Let me look on that. But yeah, no, this is a big one for the
Cowboys. This is tougher than anything that Eagles have on schedule.
Giants, Cardinals, Giants.
Oh, it's the Cardinal. That's all right. So
anything can happen.
Anything can.
You know, that's about as good as it gets.
Cowboys have the Lions after this one, and then the Commanders.
Yeah, to me,
the Commanders isn't even a free win either.
To me, I think Mike McDaniel eats up this game. I think he puts on a showcase here. I'm thinking Tyreek's probably back.
I would like to say if Tyreek plays, they should be able to just scorch him offensively.
Seeing as he was a game time decision
this
week, and it was up to him, he was like medically cleared.
Was that this case?
Yeah, it was said that it was up to him, so I'm assuming he was medically cleared.
He didn't play. That's so weird. Usually, especially at the receiver position, they're like, we're playing.
I know this is crazy, but they were literally playing the Jets.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I was like, he was probably like,
he's like, they don't need him. Like, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's.
I mean, I look at it like he wants 2,000 this year.
Yeah,
and
no, definitely.
He's that close.
Maybe he sees it as, all right, I just got to get
I just need, 3 games.
Yeah.
I can get 500 yards.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think I like the Dolphins too. I don't like the Dolphins in terms of against good teams, but I don't think the Cowboys are as good as people say.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think so either. They haven't beaten the good team besides the Eagles.
The Eagles who have been struggling.
Right.
Which, not an excuse, but I mean, like, it's just, it is what it is.
Dolphins for sure. Cardinals, Bears.
Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears.
I think I like the Bears.
Unfortunate, because a loss would help, but I'm taking the Bears. Pats, Broncos.
Wait, why would a loss help?
Oh, just for the other pick. If it's at 5 right now, but it could go up to like 10 and with 1 win.
Yeah, I mean, you should just look at that pick as your O-lineman pick.
No, I know.
That's what I think.
The higher, the better.
Yeah, I know. I mean, in that same argument, I'm like, if you.
I just want Fields to show out.
Yeah, because if the Cardinals win, then they move further away too.
Yeah, because that also is playing defense.
It's playing defense. I mean, I wouldn't mind it as the Pats fan.
There's so much to think about.
But I think the Bears are just better.
Definitely.
As much as Kyler can kind of cook. We'll see. We will see.
I'm like interested to see how the defense does there. Pats, Broncos.
Might be too quick on that. I'm not going to be too quick on this. Broncos. That's a
Broncos easy.
That's a timely answer. That's all you need.
That one's at, when is that? So that one's Saturday night.
Sunday night football.
We got
three
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas.
All right.
We finna eat. Too bad the basketball will be on Christmas.
Yeah, you pick your poison.
I will be picking the Boston Celtics all day.
Over Raiders Chiefs.
Actually, that will not coincide.
Okay.
So maybe that'll be on. Maybe that'll be on.
Raiders Chiefs. The Raiders coming off that 63.
No, I will not be watching this game.
No,
I don't want to see Taylor Swift all over my screen.
Yeah.
Chiefs win.
Some of that.
Chiefs win.
Chiefs. Definitely.
They need to start thinking about throwing to Kelsey more, though, if they want to have any chance in this postseason.
Yeah, find a receiver you can throw to. Throw to Justin Watson more. Because
I think, Raji Rice seems to be a guy he likes, but he's not, like, I don't think he's that good.
I think he's the best they got right now at that position.
Maybe.
And I know MVS had that bad drop, but I think he's probably number 3.
Maybe stop throwing him over the shoulder looks or, just give him slants.
Tony is not getting the ball.
Stop throwing to Tony.
Sorry.
Like,
there's no way.
It's just tough because as a quarterback, you're not looking and saying, oh, it's Tony. He's looking and saying, this guy's open. Sling it.
Sling it. But he's going to just start to be like, I don't trust this route. I'm not looking that way.
You have to.
I'm changing my progression.
You have
Tony is not trusting.
And maybe stop lining him up.
Yeah. It's...
I don't know. It just...
Yeah, there's a lot to think about. Man, it's bad there.
Yeah.
Giants, Eagles. Eagles need that bounce
Eagles
back.
finally get their bounce
Giants
back.
Suck.
They suck.
But, maybe DeVito can do his, thing.
No.
Ravens, 49ers, the fun one.
This one will be fun. Too bad it will coincide with my Celtics game. Celtics start at 5.
I'm definitely watching that.
Oh, wait. I was missing. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Maybe I'll throw this on. This one should be fun.
Ravens, man.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to make it quick. If this is the Super Bowl, I still wouldn't change my answer. It's the 49ers. Better team. They're the better team.
They are the better team. I'll take the Niners too, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think this game should be really good.
Yeah.
And I think Lamar goes for triple digits in running yards because he's going to have to scramble a lot. Yeah. So I think it's competitive.
We learn if the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl in this game.
I think it's more of can the Ravens even compete?
Yeah.
Because we've seen the Niners decimate teams that are in that Super Bowl conversation, and it's like, this is another one, and the Cowboys, they blew them out. Right. The Eagles, they own them. It was just like, all right, everything they're doing right now.
Right. So, because if the Niners can just beat the Ravens and they beat,
It just seems like, if everybody stays healthy, you can't touch them.
You're blowing out good teams at that point.
If they blow them out, you should just wave the white flag at this point. So.
They're a juggernaut.
Yeah.
So that's the picks.
We'll
see. Hopefully I do better than 7 this week.
It's you
I want more
seemed this week seemed a little more apropos of picks.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's shift a little bit. Let's shift to basketball. NBA. I keep mentioning the Celtics.
Yeah.
I was just at the game on Friday. So much fun, regardless of the fact that we were without 3 centers. Played with these guys that have never touched the court.
Terrible.
And they win. Their home court record is undefeated. Much like the Cowboys, they are terrible on the road.
They're undefeated on home court?
On home court, yeah.
Wow. That's really hard to do.
It is hard to do. They are, I believe, now 14. I think the Sunday win got them there. Awesome. And then on the road, they're struggling.
Defending the Garden.
Yes. Hey, I'm not complaining. I can't believe they decimated the Magic that well.
Yeah.
Considering they had no bigs and the Magic's.
Who was playing center?
It was this guy named Lamar Stevens and Queta. I'm forgetting his first name.
That's all right.
Queta, I like him. He was the G League runner-up last year for MVP.
Interesting.
Lamar Stevens, I've never heard of.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I don't know what that is. But
hey, they won. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds like a good time.
It was so much fun. I haven't been to
an NBA game.
Never.
I
haven't been to one in a minute, so I was glad to get back out there, and seeing one live is so awesome.
Yeah.
And seeing one at a place like the Garden. They're so loud.
Yeah.
Like, the atmosphere there is so great.
Yeah. I was this close to going to a Bucks-Celtics playoff game last year. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but...
Dude.
The tickets were, kind of affordable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had the best seats. It would have been a
Dude, a playoff game is so much fun.
Yeah.
There's so much fun.
Yeah. Big game last night. Ja Morant, man. Game winner in his comeback
34
game.
Points. I think he had 8 assists, 6 rebounds.
And he kept receipts.
Yeah, he kept receipts. Yeah, because the media, I like to pick on the media a lot, but maybe it was more players too, but it seemed that he was dropping in stock, Ja Morant, off of everybody's top players. He came out in his first game and showed everybody, I was top 10 when I played.
I'm back.
I'm him. I carry this team.
A classic Ja Morant, 12 of 24, 0 of 5 from 3, 6'8".
Was he 0 of 5 from 3?
Yeah, he's filling up the stat sheet. He's like the reincarnation of Derrick Rose, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like,
maybe a little DeMar
so
with
happy.
the mid-range?
Yeah. Ja's awesome, honestly. I think they brought in the right guys. I'm hoping Derrick Rose can kind of...
he can have the veteran leadership. I hope Marcus Smart can get healthy and play with him because, again, same thing.
Exactly.
I would love to see them two play together.
Yeah.
Obviously, as such a fan of Smart, I do like Ja. I think he's one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
They got Desmond Bane.
Right.
They got Jaren Jackson. Like that, they have the team that can still compete.
They got some pieces. 6.5 games out of the
They've got
play-in.
some work to do.
They got some work to do.
But
it's
it's still the first quarter of the year.
It's December.
I like their odds of making at least the play-in. This is why the play-in is going to be nice for some teams like this.
Right.
You have a guy who's out for the first 25 games, and all of a sudden, you could still make something out of it.
Maybe that's the beauty of the play-in. Like, if you're a team that has those struggles, you can come back and catch the 10 seed because it's usually a little lower. I don't know.
I like their odds. I mean, like, he said he's fine in the West.
Yeah.
Maybe he is.
Yeah, no, the Grizzlies are going to be a fun team.
Yeah.
Team that's not having fun is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Invested heavily. Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Garland, they brought him in. It's not working.
Yeah, I don't know what is wrong there because this is the conversation now. It's like, is he gonna leave?
Yeah.
He's a free agent. He's been linked with New York a lot. He's from there. Seems like maybe that's a potential thing. I'm not sure what they have to do to make that a little easier on them.
Donovan Mitchell strikes me as a player who's gonna play for a lot of teams.
Really?
I just have a feeling. I don't know. The Jazz, he was there for a few years. He gets traded, not going to work out. He's a good scorer. He's a really good scorer, but it feels like it's not going to work out in Cleveland eventually.
I thought like this year they were going to be a top
I did too.
4-3 seed area. They just have so much talent there. And it's like, how are you guys like 500 or like just over? I don't know. And maybe they're just like some growing pains going on right now with something, but they should be a little bit better than they have been. And maybe all the rumors about Donovan Mitchell is what's hurting them.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing with a guy who you don't know if he's going to have the same, like, will he be here next year?
Yeah.
Oh, is this guy committed to the team? It's tough.
Definitely.
Like, that is tough.
Definitely. I mean, if you're Cleveland, though, you're getting a package for Mitchell.
They would have to trade him before the deadline. They have to have these conversations.
Right. I mean, you trade him, sell high, though. I mean, really great score.
Here's the thing. If they're smart, they would try to trade to, like, the Knicks or the Nets.
Yeah.
If he's so linked with New York.
Yeah.
Make them have to make the trade.
That'd be cool for New York to bring in and have the Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson backcourt.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know how much I do like it.
Defensively, it sucks.
Can Brunson be a 2?
Well, I think Donovan Mitchell would need to be the 2 because Brunson's kind of a pure point guard.
I agree, but like, can he be the second guy again? Like, he seems to be the guy.
Well, to me, Mitchell's just a gifted scorer who's going to get his no matter what. And I like him better as a 2.
Really?
Honestly, I like him better. But
I don't know. He's a little too good.
Yeah.
He's just a really good player.
I think Brunson's just a good enough facilitator that it wouldn't be a problem.
Like, I think about it. Like, we didn't really see him behind Luka.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Luka wasn't playing. He emerges into this guy, and now he's kept it going. Like, he's awesome.
Right.
He's a great player. And it's like, I don't want him to kind of get overshadowed again. Like, Mitchell is a guy who's gonna score.
Wow.
And have the ball a lot. He's gonna
46% from 3 this year. That's awesome. I mean, I don't know if Mitchell's taking it away.
Like, I hope not, if that's the case.
What would you rather have? I mean, you could have your 26 point per game Brunson, but you get him down to like 22 and a half, but now you have Donovan Mitchell and he has like 28,
Might be less.
Yeah.
Might be less for Brunson. He might not be a 20-point per game guy if Mitchell's shooting all the shots.
Yeah. I mean, they would have to figure out that dynamic and but I don't know. Brunson needs to get his shots though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's one of those things I was thinking about with all the rumors of him linked to New York. I'm like, I don't know if if it works as well as people want it to.
Yeah.
Especially when he's around all these key players that are really good right now, and something's not right.
It's not clicking for whatever reason.
Well, let's talk about this. We haven't gotten to, and I'm very excited because we've talked about what he should get. Draymond out indefinitely. No timetable on return, and currently he's at some rehab type thing where
counseling.
he's in counseling.
Yeah. Makes sense based on what happened.
I don't know what. I don't think anything can change. Like he's just a dirty player.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it seems like there's probably something going on in Draymond's personal life.
Right?
Because, he's aggressive and he has these outbursts, but it's been a lot in a short period of time.
It's been a lot. Like, we've seen him beef with players, and then all of a sudden he does these things.
Yeah.
He's kind of just, like, snapping out.
Yeah, it's been more than usual. So hopefully whatever is going on is...
Or maybe he hasn't been fined or penalized enough when he does this thing. So he's just pushing the envelope as much. And, like, finally it got caught up to him.
I mean, just given the fact they put him in counseling now kind of indicates to me that maybe Draymond said, like, hey, this is going on.
I don't know. I just think the NBA is like, we have to try something different here. This guy is not getting better, and he's going to play. Like, he's on a team that they're going to play him. And... I don't know what to do.
Yeah, the Warriors don't impose, any sanction, or maybe they did, small one for punching Jordan Poole. I mean, that doesn't fly on another team.
No.
If that happens on another team, you might see a guy get cut.
Instead, they traded away the guy.
They traded away Poole. I mean, we're figuring out why Poole might have gotten punched, though. I'm just going to say that.
I think I would rather have Jordan Poole than Draymond Green, though.
I would want Jordan Poole
especially behind.
Far as away from my team as I possibly could. I think
even if you have a guy like... No.
I think he's the worst player.
Stop.
Well, the reason I say that is because I think the effect that he has on a team, and stats back this up this year, that he has had the most negative effect on his team. And that's why...
they weren't good before.
Jordan Poole, to me, his mentality combined with his constant low-efficiency shots makes him the worst player in the NBA right now. Now, it can be improved. He's not the least talented player in the
for
NBA,
sure.
But I think he's the worst player in the NBA right now. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And any player, any black hole in the NBA, I feel the same way about. Because they suck. They ruin the game.
Yeah.
They ruin the game. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Man, it's just tough. I don't know. I just don't like a guy who's gonna, attempt to injure or fight or get constantly kicked out.
It's a different kind of
problem. I know it's a different
kind.
And now you're playing without a starter or whatever for all this time.
No, I mean, they're both, pick your poison. They're both problems.
Let me just say I'm happy I don't have either of them on my squad.
Yeah, imagine the Celtics throwing one of those guys. It would ruin the whole thing. Yeah, no, you got to watch out for those. Bad personalities play a huge role in basketball.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They do in everything, but I mean, it's pretty apparent in basketball when you see a dynamic not going well. It's kind of fun.
Speaking of a dynamic not going well, I want to ask you, with the recent failures almost of the Lakers and the Pacers, what's going on there? Like, we talking about the two teams that were really highly regarded in the in-season tournament. Now they have been, I think, 1-4 since both of them.
That's interesting. Maybe they put too much into the in-season tournament, and now they're gassed, playing big minutes in those games.
Right.
It's a question. How much are you willing to put into the in-season tournament?
And that's going to go a long way of the in-season tournament surviving in the NBA. If teams are going to look at it and say, well, now we're going to lose 5 games out of 6 because we played in Vegas and had to do extra travel and all this, extra press.
Yeah, and you're having those, you earned hard wins.
Yeah.
They weren't any different than a regular season win, maybe even harder.
Yeah.
And you're not getting credit for it. On your record.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to look at.
Yeah.
And now, since they've both struggled since, it's gonna also be talked about going down the line.
That's what we thought when the in-season tournament was kind of getting going. Like, our team's gonna care, but maybe they'll look back and
this could go a long way in teams not caring.
But hey, the LeBron got his 5th ring.
That banner looks so stupid up in the rafters. It's so stupid. I hated the whole celebration. I can't do it again.
It's hilarious.
It's just how much they fill it all in.
It's so LeBron.
Yep.
It's so LeBron.
I don't know if any other team would have done that.
LeBron is gonna milk that thing so hard.
Yep.
NBA's funny. All right, and that's gonna do it for episode of 15. Thank you for joining us. I've been Ryan Hayes.
I'm Dylan Broch. Everybody have a happy holidays.
Happy holiday. Enjoy your time with your loved ones, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.